The secret reason seniors lose their teeth, it's not just age. Have you ever caught yourself in the mirror, maybe at night while brushing your teeth, when the house is quiet and it's just you, the dim light, and your own reflection, and thought to yourself, my smile isn't what it used to be? Maybe you lean in closer, squinting a little. You notice that your teeth don't quite have the shine they once did. They look thinner somehow, less solid, maybe a little more yellow than you remember. You run your tongue across them, and they feel rough, uneven, or maybe it isn't just how they look, it's how they feel. That sharp sting when your morning cup of coffee hits just the right spot. The sudden jolt of sensitivity when you take a sip of cold water in the middle of the night. You pause, waiting for it to fade, telling yourself it's nothing. But somewhere deep inside, a whisper rises, a whisper you don't want to hear. What if I lose my teeth? What if they crumble away, little by little, and I didn't even see it coming? That thought alone can make your stomach tighten, because teeth aren't just teeth. They're part of how you've lived your life. They're in the laughter you've shared at family dinners, the stories told across kitchen tables, the photos tucked into albums where you're smiling without a second thought. To imagine losing them feels almost like losing a piece of yourself, a piece of your history. And if that thought makes your chest ache a little, you're not alone. Many people your age carry that same quiet fear, even if they never say it out loud. But here's the truth, the part that often gets overlooked. It's not simply time or age wearing away at your teeth. Age is only part of the story. What's even more powerful and far more silent are the choices we make every single day. Some of the very drinks we reach for out of comfort, routine, or even because we believe they're healthy. The steaming coffee that starts your morning. The sparkling water you sip to feel refreshed. The fruit juice that seems innocent enough. Those very drinks may be silently dissolving that precious enamel, and enamel is unforgiving. Once it's gone, it's gone for good. It doesn't grow back. It doesn't heal the way skin does after a cut, or the way muscles strengthen after rest. Enamel is like glass, fragile against acid, fragile against time, and once it's worn down, it leaves your teeth vulnerable, exposed to pain, decay, and loss. That's the sobering reality, and yet, understanding it doesn't have to leave you hopeless. It can empower you, because knowledge is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you can see what's really happening, and when you can see it, you can do something about it. Why this matters more as we age. Let's be honest with ourselves. When you're younger, the thought of losing a tooth feels like something that happens to other people, or at worst, something that's decades away. You shrug it off the way you'd shrug off the idea of retirement when you're in your 20s. It feels far in the distance, like a problem reserved for later. But later has a way of arriving quietly, almost suddenly. One day you're in your 40s, then the next you're in your 60s or 70s, looking at your reflection and realizing later is here. And when it comes to your teeth, the stakes feel different now. Because teeth aren't just about chewing food, they're about more than function. They are tied to dignity, to identity, to confidence. Think about it. Your smile is one of the first things people notice about you. It's the warmth you show to your friends, the comfort you give to your children and grandchildren. It's the laughter that bubbles out of you when you hear a joke that catches you off guard. It's the part of you that shows up in every photo, every memory, every interaction. When you lose that, when you lose the strength of your teeth, you lose more than enamel. You lose freedom, the freedom to laugh without covering your mouth, the freedom to eat without hesitation, without calculating what will hurt or break. The freedom to savor something as simple and joyful as biting into a crisp apple or a piece of crusty bread. Losing that freedom feels like losing a piece of yourself. And here's the part that many people don't realize. Your enamel, the hardest substance in your entire body, stronger than bone itself, isn't just disappearing because of age, as if time were an unstoppable thief. No, it's dissolving slowly, quietly, drip by drip. Not just because of the years you've lived, but because of what you sip every single day. Setting the stage. Understanding pH. Simply, to understand this, let's use a picture we can all relate to. Imagine enamel as the massive stone walls of an ancient castle, strong, impenetrable, built to endure centuries of storms, wind, and attack. That's your enamel. It was designed to last you a lifetime. But even the strongest stone isn't invincible. Let the rain fall acidic enough, let the storms batter long enough, and little by little, the walls erode. They don't collapse all at once. They crumble slowly, almost invisibly, until one day the fortress you thought was indestructible has holes in its defenses. That's what happens inside your mouth. Every drink you take has a measurement, a kind of chemical fingerprint, called pH. Don't let the science intimidate you. pH is simply a scale that measures whether something is acidic or alkaline. A pH of 7 is neutral. That's your plain, ordinary water, no harm, no foul. Anything below 7 is acidic, and acids are the rain that chip away at your castle walls. And here's the crucial point. Tooth enamel begins to dissolve at a pH of around 5.5. That means every sip of something with a pH lower than 5.5 is like sending a tiny storm against your teeth.
It may not matter once or twice, but repeated day after day, year after year, the damage compounds. And when you see the list of what that includes, the drinks most of us consume without thinking, you'll understand just how eye-opening and
sobering this really is. You wake up to a quiet morning. The room is cool, your body feels stiff, and your joints ache just enough to remind you that the years have stacked up. You shuffle toward the kitchen, and before you even reach for the coffee pot, you can smell it. That rich, familiar aroma that has started your mornings for decades. It's more than a drink, it's a ritual. The comfort of holding something warm in your hands, of taking that first sip and feeling alive again. Coffee is part of who you are. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Coffee's pH is around 5. That's just acidic enough to begin softening the protective enamel on your teeth, especially if you sip it slowly and let it linger in your mouth. You wouldn't think of it as dangerous. It doesn't sting, it doesn't hurt. But it's like rain falling on stone, gentle, unnoticed, but relentless. Later in the day, maybe you reach for something healthier, a glass of sparkling water. It fizzes happily as it hits the glass, bubbles dancing upward like tiny pearls. It feels refreshing, even virtuous compared to soda. But what most people don't realize is that carbonation creates carbonic acid. That brings the pH down to 5 or 5.5, once again, right in the danger zone for enamel erosion. Then comes lunch, and you decide to relax with a cold beer. The bottle sweats in your hand, the golden liquid foams as it hits the glass, and for a moment, life feels lighter. But beer carries a pH of 4 to 4.5, even more acidic. Another storm against your teeth, and then, perhaps at a summer barbecue or a birthday gathering, someone offers you a soda. You hesitate for only a second before giving in, because soda is more than a drink. It's nostalgia, it's childhood, summers, it's family road trips, it's the sweet fizz that brings back memories of easier times. That first sip lights up your taste buds, sweet, fizzy, comforting. But here's the truth behind the pleasure. Soda has a pH between 2.4 and 3. That's not just acidic, that's nearly in the same league as battery acid. With every swallow, it's as if you're bathing your teeth in liquid acid. And when you add sugar into the mix, you've created the perfect storm for disaster. The double agent. Sugar, because acidity, as destructive as it is only half the story. There's a traitor working quietly, weaving its way into almost everything we eat and drink. Something we've all leaned on for comfort, celebration, or simply out of habit. Sugar. Here's the sneaky part about sugar. It doesn't just sit on your teeth like crumbs on a countertop. No, it feeds the bacteria that live in your mouth. And when those bacteria feast, they don't just get full. They release acidic byproducts. They turn your mouth into a tiny acid factory lowering the pH even further, long after the drink itself is gone. Think about that. Even when the soda can is empty, even when the juice glass is rinsed, the attack on your enamel continues. It's as if you've invited enemies into your castle, and even after you've closed the gate, they're still inside, chipping away at the walls. That's why the worst offenders aren't just acidic drinks or sugary drinks. They're the ones that combine both. Acid plus sugar is the ultimate recipe for destruction. Fruit juices that seem healthy but flood your mouth with both acids and natural sugars. Sodas that coat your teeth in syrupy sweetness while hitting them with acid at the same time. Energy drinks and sports drinks, marketed as fuel for your body, but in reality, eroding the very teeth you need to smile, speak, and eat. These aren't harmless indulgences. They're slow-motion wrecking balls. They don't just quench your thirst. They set the stage for decay. And here's something most people never think about. It's not just what's happening outside your teeth. It's not just the enamel, the surface, the part you see in the mirror. The real danger is what's happening inside your body. If you're living with diabetes, prediabetes, or even insulin resistance, and let's be honest, many people over 50 are fighting some version of this battle, then high blood sugar is flowing through your bloodstream every single day. And your teeth? They aren't isolated chunks of bone sitting in your mouth. They are living structures. They have roots, they have nerves, they have a blood supply. That means the same sugar running through your veins also reaches the roots of your teeth. And when it does, it weakens them from the inside out. Think of it like termites in a wooden beam. On the outside, the wood might look fine, but inside, it's being hollowed out, eaten away silently until one day, it collapses. And then there are your gums, the unsung heroes that hold everything together. Most people don't realize this, but your gums are built on collagen, the same protein that gives your skin its firmness and your joints their resilience. Collagen needs vitamin C, like a plant needs sunlight. Without it, the structure weakens. But here's the cruel trick. Sugar blocks vitamin C from being absorbed by your cells. So every time you snack on sweets, every time you sip juice all day long, you're not just weakening your enamel, you're starving your gums of the very nutrient they depend on to stay strong and resilient. That's why bleeding gums, red gums, swollen gums, these aren't just random annoyances or signs of getting older. They are signals. They are your body's way of crying out, "I'm starving. I'm not getting what I need." They are signs of sugar robbing you of strength, silently pulling the foundation out from under your smile. Practical wisdom, what you can do. So where does this leave you? Should you abandon your morning lemon water? Should you swear off apple cider vinegar forever? Should you never sip coffee again, even though it brings you joy? Not necessarily. This isn't about fear. It's about wisdom. It's about balance, awareness, and making a few simple shifts that protect what matters most. Dilute acidic drinks. A tablespoon of lemon juice in a tall glass of water isn't the same as bathing your teeth in straight lemon juice. Think of it as watering down the storm. Use a straw. It may feel small, almost silly, but that little piece of plastic or metal can keep acid away from your enamel. It's like creating a shortcut that spares your teeth from unnecessary damage. Rinse with water afterward. Don't brush right away, because when enamel is softened, brushing can actually scrape it off like sanding wet paint. Instead, just swish with plain water. It's gentle, it's easy, and it gives your mouth a chance to recover. Support your saliva. Saliva is nature's built-in defense system. It neutralizes acid, washes away sugar, and restores balance. But it only works if you stay hydrated. If your mouth feels dry, chew sugar-free gum to give your saliva a boost. Think of saliva as your body's natural armor. You want to keep it strong. Lower your sugar intake. Not just for your waistline, not just for your blood sugar, but for your gums, your teeth, your smile. Every gram of sugar you cut back is one less weapon aimed at your enamel. One more chance to keep your mouth healthy for years to come. Because here's the heart of it. This isn't about giving things up. It's about protecting the freedom. to keep enjoying them. It's about making small choices now that allow you to laugh, to eat, to smile, to savor life. Not just today, but for all the years still ahead of you. Our smile is so much more than teeth. It's the joy of laughing at your granddaughter's wedding, without a second thought about how you look. It's the comfort of sitting with old friends, sipping coffee, and letting your stories spill out into the air like they've done for decades. It's the freedom of biting into your favorite meal, the apple, the steak, the fresh bread, and feeling no fear, no hesitation. Your smile is not just enamel and bone. It is memory. It is connection. It is identity. It is you. But here's the sobering truth. Every sip you take, every little choice, is either helping to build that future or quietly eroding it. Not all at once, not dramatically, but slowly, silently, like the tide pulling grains of sand from beneath your feet. And I want you to hear this clearly. You have spent a lifetime taking care of others. You've poured yourself into your family, your work, your community. You've been the one others leaned on. But isn't it time, now, to take care of yourself? To take care of your smile too, because the next time you reach for a drink, you have a choice. Pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, is this nourishing my body or is it quietly stealing my smile? Because enamel doesn't scream when it dissolves. It doesn't cry out in pain. It whispers, softly, subtly, almost so quietly you don't notice, until it's too late. But if you listen now, if you pay attention, you can protect what matters. You can preserve not just your teeth, but the laughter, the conversations, the joy they've carried you through for a lifetime. Outro call to action. If this message opened your eyes, even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love, someone whose smile you never want to see fade. Because protecting our smiles isn't just about us. It's about the people who love seeing us smile. And before you go, there's one more thing I want to ask. Here on Echoes of Elderly Wisdom, we create videos that honor your journey, your health, your dignity. If you found comfort, truth, or even just a spark of recognition in this video, please take a moment to subscribe. Not for me, but for you. So you'll always have a place to come back to. A reminder that your smile, your body, and your story are worth protecting. And if you're ready to go deeper, click right here for the next video. We'll talk about the surprising benefits of apple cider vinegar and lemon water. Because yes, they can be powerful allies if you know how to use them wisely. Let's keep building a future together where your smile, your laughter, your joy lasts a lifetime.